Hello and welcome to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name's Jeremiah Krakowski, and on this podcast, I talk about ways for you to grow in your life and in your business. And today, I want to help you find the right people that you want to work with. And this starts with copywriting. To be honest, if you can't get and grab the attention of people with your website, with your ads, with your emails, all of that, your marketing efforts are going to fall flat. And so this is the foundations of getting results, making money, and building a business using tools online is copywriting. Now, I did an episode a couple weeks back on copywriting. It's more of an overall. Would highly recommend you listen to it if you haven't listened to it yet. I'm not going to repeat everything I talked about in that one. This is kind of almost the parts that I left out on that episode because I've been asking my clients, what are the biggest areas that you've been needing help with your copywriting? Oftentimes they really grab onto what I taught in that episode. And so you'll find it just says copywriting in the title. It's a few episodes back before this one. What we're going to talk about today is specifically headlines, call to actions, and getting people's attention. What grabs their attention? You see, if you can't grab their attention, they're not going to read whatever else you have. And so what I taught in that episode teaches you kind of how to write copy in a way, telling the story, opening up the story. But you have to start with a headline. Somebody's not going to jump in the middle of the copy. You might do that yourself, especially if you're a marketer or a salesperson. You might do that, yes. But your customers and clients oftentimes are not you, or they're not at that place yet where they're looking at doing that. Now, I would encourage you to start doing that with some things because that's going to help teach you how to write good copy. Did a video today on my social media where I talked about generating a swipe file, building a swipe file, not to plagiarize, not to copy what's in the swipe file, but rather as inspiration and a model for you. Become a consumer of ad campaigns, become a consumer of advertising, become somebody that looks at and watches other advertisers for this purpose, okay? What grabs me? You see, to talk to your target audience, you want to look at what grabs you. When you look at marketing, when you see an ad, maybe you found me on an ad, what grabs your attention? That's the same type of stuff that grabs your audience's attention. And you have to look at really what grabs your attention. That's what I'm saying. I like the first line of words in an email, the subject line, the first line in an ad, and really analyze and break down what's going on here. I'm going to do a little bit of that for you here, and I'm planning on having a program coming out very soon on this where I can work with you through this in depth. Because I know that for you to get your offers in front of the right people, not just anybody, the people who have the money to pay for you, they have the cash, they have the budget, they need what you offer. Copywriting and being able to get their attention, because that's the key, right? Copywriting and being able to get their attention is so important. Many times people have this issue where they have good copy, they have a good offer, but they fail to get the attention of their target market. And so I'm going to dive into how to do that. Your copy, you want it to actually turn off the people who are not your target market. Do you ever run up against where people say, hey, I can't afford what you have to offer because it's too expensive? Your copy is somehow making people think that it should cost less. And I'll explain that a little bit here as well. Because the copy is a nonverbal confidence that comes across. It helps people see quickly in less than 5 to 10 seconds visually what the result is for what you have to offer. And the only reason somebody doesn't buy from you is because they don't believe that it's worth the value that you say that it is. For instance, I'm going to give you an example of that. I read this in a book the other day. It's by Dave Meltzer. It's called Connected to Goodness. I'm just going to copy his example that he gave in that book. Really good book. It's free. Check it out. He said, I could sell you this pen for $1 million. And everyone's like, what? That's kind of silly. I'm going to explain to you how this works. He said, well, here's how I would sell it to you for $1 million. I would give you a $1 million loan as long as you agreed to buy the pen from me for $1 million, and I would forgive the loan after a year. So you would actually get a pen and $1 million after a year. See what I'm saying? So now from that perspective, if you're going to get $1 million, all you got to do is pay for it to buy the pen with that $1 million. It's you'd buy the pen for $1 million. And that's how copywriting works, is you're able to help people understand that whole process. Oftentimes when you're trying to sell something, it's like trying to sell a pen for $1 million to people. They're like, that doesn't make sense. And if your copy gets their attention in a way that they can see it in their mind's eye, how that would work out and be risk-free, right? No terms and conditions that are, nothing shady, no shady business going on. If they can see that and they understand it after you get their attention within 30 to 60 seconds, that's good copy. And that's how you'll close deals, and that's how you'll sell products. And we start by leading with, it depends on where we're putting our copy. I'm going to talk a little bit about this across a couple different mediums. On landing pages specifically, the headline is always going to lead with the result that somebody can expect to get, and then telling a story of how we got there from where they are right now, all within the first above the fold section right there. Same as on offer pages. Basically, I'm going to give you how I and you can do this. My social media ads course says, create social media ads that generate profit with less than $5 a day without any complex methods or needing a big social media following. That answers everybody's questions. They realize they don't need to spend $1 million on ads. It answers it right away. Now, the difference is when running ads or putting emails out there, we don't always lead with these same headlines. And it's all about where somebody is finding you in that buyer process. Now, here's the little bit of an elephant in the room right here, and I talk about this all the time. I'm going to bring it back up in this episode. You have to know who your ideal target customer avatar is. The ideal, meaning they're the best customer for you that it's made for. Target customer avatar. So for me, for my Facebook ads course, it's usually somebody that does not have a big budget to spend on ads. But I'm able to tell them, hey, listen, I've spent this much on ads. I know it works scaling from $5 to $10 a day in ads, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it yourself. I charge over $7,500 a month just to start managing ads for you, or I could coach you to do it. We could do it together for, $300 an hour right now. This month, I got a deal for that on coaching. Or you could buy my course for just $47 and learn how to do it yourself. The value there is huge, right? They actually get exactly what I can do for them at that price. Even then, you know what? Even then, I have people all the time. They ask me this. They're like, well, do you really think that your $47 course is going to help me know exactly how to do it at the level that you do? And to be honest, I'm very confident in that. I believe I over-delivered to the point that it has so much in there that you will learn how to run ads better than even I do going through it. That was my purpose. I wanted to teach and raise people up to that point because I prefer doing that, working with larger clients and coaching people and teaching what I've known over the years, running ads for over 13 years. That's what you'll learn in that. And so your copy directly helps impart vision to people of what experience they're going to get after they buy from you, right? You get that. But your headline is an invitation to read more. Your headline is an invitation to dive in. You see, you can impart vision with your copy. You can help somebody see that, but your headline is what opens it up for them, is what opens it up to the point that they say, okay, tell me more. How are you going to do that? Now, you want to make sure that your headline is not unbelievable. An unbelievable headline is the worst thing that you can do, especially if it's fraudulent. Don't want to do that. You want to basically give a promised outcome of some kind on a landing page headline, on a opt-in offer headline. And then you dive into the features below that. You unpack the story. Okay? So that's how you get the attention. You find out what your target customer avatar is. You look at what problems do they have. If you don't know what problems they have, this is where you got to dive deep into. In Facebook groups, you can find what your target customer is dealing with. On Amazon reviews, on forums, on blog posts, on comments that they leave on competitors' social media. You can look at how your competitors aren't serving people. I'm telling you. These are all ways to know what your target customer's problems are. And so if you can deliver a solution to a problem that a wide audience of your target customer has, now you have an offer that can be profitable. Now you got to build it, of course, right? I have a number of podcast episodes where I walk you through building it. In my Grow Your Life group, I have a free course called the Internet Cash Flow Formula. It's a 21-day masterclass where I walk you through start to finish building your offer and selling it online. Taking the ideal customer avatar, identifying the problems, how to communicate in a way using all the platforms on the internet to make sales of your product, whatever it is on the internet. And so you have to identify what are the problems your target customer has. What solution do I offer? And now that becomes your attention-grabbing headline. And you want to repeat back to them the words that they're already using, which is why the feedback loop is so important. If you're getting feedback from them, if you're hearing them tell you what they are experiencing, right? How do you hear that? Told you. Amazon reviews, comments on your competitors, groups, your own social media. That's the only reason I actually utilize social media is I want to know how can I serve problems that people have. And I use that as a way to hear from people what are the problems that they have. And then I use it to deliver those solutions to the same people, deliver back to them the same words that they told me. Last week, I asked my group, what's your number one issue with copywriting? Email marketing, ads, landing pages. They all told me writing attention-grabbing headlines. So guess what? This episode is the solution to that problem right there. When I work with people that I coach them through writing attention-grabbing headlines. I just worked with 4 clients last week where we worked on crafting and developing their ads, their landing pages, their offers in a way that's getting results and working. We have a client right now that we just helped scale over $70,000 a month from ad spend. Doing that from coaching. And so how do you do that? How do you develop that? What is the solution that you are offering to your individual target customer avatar? Write it down. And you want to explain it in a way that connects with them in one sentence what the problem is. Many times in this exercise, people that I've worked with, it's very vague. It's extremely vague. And so you have to dive deep into, okay, well, why would somebody want that result? Why would somebody want to lose weight? Well, to feel more confident, more happy. What are the struggles? They don't have time. Okay. Identify what are the struggles? What are the problems that they have? What are the objections that they have? You want to validate the frustrations that people have. Those frustrations are absolutely valid. And that's how you're going to be able to find the solutions that you can offer to those frustrations. Okay? And so like one headline that we wrote for ladies, she does some tutoring and teaching and stuff. And so we were able to write a headline together with her, an attention-grabbing headline that is specifically around, feel confident that your child will be prepared without needing to homeschool them. So that was kind of like the idea that we came up with for that. Prepared for, and it was like a certain test. So the idea was that was the problem right there. We were able to identify that. Many times people, when writing headlines, they're very weak because we're afraid to make direct promises, or we're afraid that we can't deliver on what we say, or we're afraid that we can't make somebody do anything enough, so we're going to scale back our promise. For instance, I can't make anybody who goes through my social media ads course run ads and generate profit. But I can point them to do that. And if they go through it, follow the directions, that's the result that I know that they're going to get. And so oftentimes when writing copy, this is why it's so interesting. People think that copywriting is not related to mindset. If you have a mindset that is trying to play small and not speak directly to what you can do for somebody and trying to hold back a little bit, your copy is going to be weak. It's going to come across in a way that you're not confident about what you can do. And people can smell it a mile away. They can read it a mile away when they think that, hey, yeah, I don't know if you can deliver on what you say. They're very judgmental that way. All of us are. And so if you can identify what's a problem that you can solve, what's the problem that they have, and what do they want to avoid doing? If you can help somebody avoid a big pain point, one of the biggest objections I get from people with running ads, I don't have a big following and I don't have a whole bunch of money to spend. And it's too complicated. And so that's why my ads course, it's not complicated. You don't need a whole bunch of money to spend, and you don't need a big social media following, because you really don't need those things to get results. And that's what I show, is how to get results that way. And that's the exact same way that you want to talk to your target customer, whatever it is that you want to do. And you have to identify who is that unique target customer avatar. So think about it this way, okay? Let's just break down a headline for you. And you can even rewrite this. What is the result that your target customer is going to get when they go through your offer, when they buy from you? By the way, side note, if it's a free offer, I would strongly recommend being even more upfront about the return that they're going to get than not. What I find many people tend to do is, in their free offers, they're very timid about, well, because it's free, you're going to get this little thing that's going to then prepare you to go to the next level. No. When somebody's engaging with you for free, you need to be confident and speak to the full interaction. So when somebody goes through a free offer that I have, I'm speaking to the fact that if they go through this and they buy my upsell, this is the result that they're going to get. And so I speak to that in that free offer, and I deliver value with that. If somebody listens to my podcast, they're going to know how to do what the titles of that podcast are. Speak confidently. Confidence is such a big part of copywriting. Having the belief level that you know that you can deliver on this thing, and saying it with absolute certainty and conviction. Doing that. That's what separates good copy from bad copy. Because one is trying to be a little bit timid, a little bit, I'm a little bit afraid of, triggering people, pushing them over the edge, maybe over-promising a little bit too much, and they're going to come back to me and blame me for not doing the work. You're not responsible for other people's bad choices. But you are responsible to show people a path to help them get their goals. And if you can do that with your product or service, you have to do it excellently and well to find the target customer that you can interact with. Okay? And so think about that. Create social media ads. That's what somebody learns in my course, right? I'm just going to break down the headline in this. That's what they're going to learn. They're going to learn how to do this. That's the how to. But what is the result when they learn that? Generate profit. Okay, now that triggers a question in their mind. Is it going to cost me a lot? Do I need a big following? It's going to be really difficult. So now I'm answering those questions right in that headline, with just $5 to $10 a day without any complex methods or you needing a big social media following. And so I'm answering all of that. And then that target customer thinks, I could do that. Let me read more about this. And so if you can get that target customer to the point where they say, let me read more about that. Tell me more. That's when you know that your headline is attention grabbing. When it's direct, when it doesn't sound like everybody else. Okay? So that's on your landing pages. Now when it comes to a call to action, this is where you have to be confident enough to make a promise of the result that they're going to get. Are you ready to get started making social media ads that work and generate a profit? Boom. Let's get started. That's a call to action. Register now. Boom. Okay? So that's on landing pages. That's on offers. If it's a free offer, you're going to have a headline at the top. You're going to, I love, you could have like a GIF that you generate in Capwing at capwing.com, or a image of you and some bullet points. What they're going to get over on the sidebar here from this, learn how to do this to this, and then this is what they're going to learn in that free training. And those can't just be features. They have to be benefits. What's the benefit? Learn how to, boom. Not how to write good. Learn how to captivate your readers. See? So those are the different types of things that you want to do. If you had a course on writing and you put, learn how to write good. Okay. But what if you put, learn how to captivate your readers? Now that stands out. What if it was, learn how to write in a way that your readers won't be able to put down your book? Exactly. Because that's what everybody wants. That's the result that you want. And that's the result. Think about that. What's the result? Not that just, you can deliver, but the best case scenario target customer that you want the desire for them that they can get from going through this. Speak to that directly with confidence. And then they can fill out a form to register for it. That's how you do that with free offers, okay? Now, on your ads and emails. Emails and ads have some very similar aspects to them. A little bit different. When it comes to ads, I like to start the ad with some kind of a result-driven story. Okay? Like what's happening right now. That's the thing. Think of it this way. On social media with ads, it's social. People want to know, what are you doing? What are you dealing with? What are you going through? What's happening in your world? And so your headline is actually going to be from that position of what's happening and speak to the result, impart vision of the result that they're going to be informed about when they read the rest of the ad, maybe watch the video, or click through to the landing page. You see, your landing page copy is going to be structured in a way that they're going to read that. So you don't want to copy your landing page copy onto your ad. That's the worst thing that you can do. And I see people trying to do that all the time. They take their landing page copy, which is really good, and they copy it into their ad campaign. This is written differently, okay? Or flip, they take their ad copy and put it on their landing page. Again, it's the same thing. They already read that, or they're already going to read that. It's a different message. So you're meeting people at a different place. You want to start with telling them, hey, listen, this is what I've done. This is what I can do. And this is what you're going to get by clicking through to this. You want to impart vision of the result that they're going to get after they click on the ad. So for instance, I run an ad talking about, over the last few months, we've ran $150,000 in ads for clients, generating 2 to 5 times return on ad spend. Boom. Somebody says, whoa, that's awesome, right? It's a hook. So you got to have a hook that grabs them, that gets them in. How do you write a hook? That starts by looking at what is something that I can share with somebody, whether it's my results or somebody that I'm pointing to's results, a testimonial, or what's happening in the marketplace, a problem, a common problem that they can relate to, right? Or what is a positive thing? I'm getting so many messages from clients telling me about XYZ result that they're getting. Boom, somebody wants to read that. I write a lot of stuff for spirituality things. There's a collective consciousness that's going on in the world around us of XYZ. Boom, grab somebody's headline. Now they want to read the rest of that because that grabs their attention. Your attention grabbing headline in your ad is not the same as your landing page. It leads to unpacking that. It leads to them opening up that ad. And this is why I say so often with ads, become a consumer of ad campaigns. Become somebody that reads ad campaigns, that watches ad campaigns, that looks at ads, that actually looks at them, that spends time looking at ad campaigns. That's how you're going to get better at this. Facebook has a feature where you can go to the ad library and look at ads that are running. I can't stress this enough. The more often that you read ad campaigns and look at landing pages and read email campaigns, the better you're going to get by learning how to model people that are already investing millions of dollars to get results online. You can watch how I do this on my content. The ad library, you find it by going to any Facebook page that's running ads. You go to this, you scroll down a little bit. On the right sidebar, it says transparency. You click more info and it says ad library, and you can see all the ads that any page is running. Easy. Okay? And so you have to look at ads. Look at what grabs your attention. Start to learn this way of sharing a story, a result. I think many times we become embarrassed to share results because we think, well, that's not the result that everybody's going to have, or they're going to think that that's too big of a result for them. So I want to play small in my ads. I see this happen so often, people playing small in their ads. They're afraid to say what they really want to say. Listen, it's not your job to manage how someone else feels when they see your ad. Your goal is to turn off the people that it's not intended for. I said that at the beginning. And attract the ones that it is intended for. That's why I say, listen, even though I spend this much, I'm going to show you how to do it, which is $5 to $10 a day. And so we break that down. We have the headline up there that tells that story. It paints a picture in their mind. Listen, if they have to read all the way to the bottom of your ad or watch to the end of the video to even get a glimpse of what you're trying to market to them, you failed. They have to be able to read the first line of the ad, the first line before they even turn the sound on your video at all, and know what kind of result they can expect by reading the rest of that ad copy. You know that little see more thing that opens out the ad? Yeah, most people don't click that. They read just what's in that first line and decide whether they want to watch the rest of it or not. And most won't. So that first line is what's so important. It has to be written in a way that breaks down what somebody is going to get a result of. Do you feel like you're going crazy? Discover how you can have more focus and clarity in your life when everything in the world is going wrong around you. Thrive in this tough time. This is a headline that I just used for a client the other day, and they got a huge result. Because what that does is that line imparts vision of somebody. Yeah, that's me. I'm going to nod my head. Yeah, I want to be that way. I want to be that person that you're talking about that is going to get a result. Let me read more of the ad. Let me click the sound on this ad. You have to realize this. People are watching ads on their social media. They're scrolling. They don't have the sound on an ad when it comes up. They don't hear a word you're saying. They don't read that whole thing. They're only reading that one headline and making a prejudgment on whether it's worth their time to read the rest. And so that's the most important part to craft, to write out. Okay. Now you might say, well, in the ads manager, it's called the headline is the bottom part. That's actually more a call to action, what Facebook calls the headline. And so in that, I will usually put something that is taken from my sales page right there. Create ads that work. Create ads that get more customers. Create ads that create more sales. Simple line right there. something. What's the result that they're going to get when they click that button and buy my product? That's what I put in that line right there. And so this all starts with knowing who your ideal target customer avatar is, knowing who you're talking to, and developing that message, knowing what drives people, what are their concerns, what can you say that validates their problems, their frustrations, what can you say that gives them certainty in you, your product, or your service, all within the first sentence that you say. That's it. And some people don't take too long writing that. Just write, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about that? Usually that's the best thing. And then you can unpack it further down in that ad. And then obviously you're going to read through that and you're going to say a call to action, register now. Listen, if you're ready to start doing XYZ, let's get started. Click the link and register now. Register now here. Boom, link. That's it. Okay. Now on emails, your subject line is your attention grabbing line. And that should always lead to the first line that's in your email. Somebody reads a subject line to make the decision if they should read the rest of your email. People make a judgment call off your subject line if they're going to open that email. Okay? But your subject line has to be directly connected to the first line in the email. So I always start with writing the email and then I go back and do the subject line. What's the message that I want to get across to people? Now, this is similar to a sales page. People are only going to read that first line if it's not relevant to them, if they are not connecting with what the rest of that email is about based on their prejudgment. They're not going to read the rest. They're not going to read your call to action. They're not going to read that beautiful, wonderful email that you wrote. It's the same way with podcast episodes. Nobody's going to listen to my podcast episode in that way. It's the same with content. Nobody's going to listen to my content if that first line doesn't tell them what I'm talking about and help them piques their interest. It has to get their attention so that then they can give you their interest. Okay? But you have to speak to a way that you know that this is your target customer, not that you're hoping that they're your target customer. That you have confidence that you know that they are that target customer. Okay? And so when you speak in a way in your emails that is confident, that comes across confidently, that very similar to your landing pages. Maybe it's a case study email. It'll say, when so-and-so came to me, they did this. Give result. So that's the same type of line that I would use in an ad. Many times your emails and your ads are going to be very similar. The ad copy and the email. The difference is the subject line is not the first line of your ad. So for instance, a line about, over the last couple months, we've managed this much. I would start an email that way as well. There's a collective consciousness in the world. What if you didn't have to be so hands-on with helping homeschool your kids? Boom. Grabs people's attention in some way so that they get a vision of what the rest of the email is about. Then your subject line directly connects to that. Okay? Could be a little more personal. I mix it up with subject lines. If you send a lot of emails with one type of subject line, you want to think about that. When somebody's seeing your emails, they're seeing email, email, email. They're going to make a prejudgment call that your email is the same thing that they already saw that they didn't want to read before. So you have to realize that that's what's happening and play the game with them. Navigate that with them. I sent an email out the other day that said, hey, quick question, ... And then my question was right in there and people replied back to me. Another one was, he got results after 5 days, after 5 months. These are the results he got after 5 months. People say, what results did he get, right? It invites the question. People are interested in what that is. Sometimes I'll send an email out that just says, hey, that's the subject line. Hey. How do you know which one to do? Which one to send out? I go based on to where it's not going to be similar to what the last one I sent was. It shifts perspective. and it feels personal. The same way I send emails to friends. If you're not somebody that sends a lot of emails to a lot of people, you might struggle with this. And you may want to start sending emails to people. Here's the deal with email marketing, by the way. I think people overanalyze their subject lines in their copy. And so they make that to not send an email. They get so worried about making that so perfect that they don't send any emails out. And that's the worst thing that you can do. I would invite you, just start sending emails out. Get on a bunch of email lists. I'm on over 100 different email lists, so I can look at, okay, what subject lines grab my attention? Competitors' email lists. What subject line pulls me in to want to read more? What subject line pulls me in to want to read more from that person? And then I'll use that as a model and a template for my subject lines. I'll learn the cadence of using subject lines from other people. This is the best way that you're going to learn this. I'm serious. Every person that has ever been successful at email marketing, really good at email marketing, that's how they did it. And sure, there can be systematized ways to do this and stuff like that. I'm telling you, the most systematic way to do it is get on email list. Now you might say, well, whose email list should I get on? Get on whoever is in your market that is resonating with who you think your target customer resonates with, and read some of the emails that they send out. Just read some more emails. Read some emails. Read it from a place to learn, to analyze what's happening here. Why did this get my attention? Break down, why did this grab my attention? Learn from others that are experienced in doing this by observing how they do it. It's called on-the-job training. You're learning from example, from experts, by looking at not just what they say, but what they do. And this is going to be one of the best ways that you can learn the cadence of email, the subject lines. I'm serious. Man, I got clients, they do this. They come to me, they're like, I saw this great email. What do you think about using this? I'm like, that is killer. Let's use that for our campaign. Boom. And it's not plagiarizing it. We use it as a template and a model to base our campaign off of. We'll utilize maybe a few words from the first headline in the email, the structure of that email, and the subject line, tweak it, and send it out to his list, and boom, sales. Boom, results. Works great. So for you to get good at writing attention-grabbing headlines, email, ad copy, landing pages, observe other people that are doing this. That's what I'm going to tell you. It's the biggest thing I can say. Watch and read more landing pages, ad videos. Just look at the first part of it. You don't need to go all the way to the end. I'm telling you, just the first line and the call to action and the subject line, unless you want to watch the whole thing. And the beginning 30 seconds of a video. You'll learn so much just by doing that, just by consuming this advertising content, to learn how to communicate to your target customer that way. And listen, if you want somebody to help walk alongside you to do this and learn how to do this, I can coach you on that. That's what I'm doing with clients right now. For their individual, unique market, we're coaching one-on-one about copy, about headlines, about writing this, about crafting offers, about developing campaigns to launch them and reach their target market. So if you're somebody that wants to consider doing that, you can schedule a free 15-minute call with me on my website. Go over to jeremiahkrakowski.com and schedule that call. If you want to win a free 30-minute coaching call with me, it's a coaching call, not a discovery call. You can leave hashtag Grow Your Life on my Instagram on any post that I leave in the comments, and I pick winners on Sunday that can win that. Grow your life, everybody, and we'll talk soon.